Whereas Donald Trump, not only won't he release his bracket, he won't fill one out at all because he's afraid of getting eaten by that shark.
But if I'm sitting down and that boat's going down and I'm on top of a battery and the water starts flooding in, I'm getting concerned. But then I look 10 yards to my left and there's a shark over there. So I have a choice of electrocution or shark. You know what I'm going to take? Electrocution. I will take electrocution every single time. Do we agree?
Yeah.
It's hard to understand what's going on. I mean, I really, one minute you feel like, oh my gosh, this is going to be, now the landslide's going to start. And then there'll be some other weaselly little, sidestep they do or whatever it is. And, this administration is a rabid dog, and it's turning us upside down. And as far as I'm concerned, it's as obvious as the nose on your face.
Trump completely lost it after Jim Carrey and Jimmy Kimmel savagely tore into his marriage live on air. This wasn't just a roast. It was a full comedic demolition, and Trump took the bait harder than ever. The jokes were brutal, the delivery unrelenting, and the fallout? Legendary. His furious rants and frantic damage control were something to behold, with rumors of shattered ketchup bottles flying around. Mar-a-Lago has never witnessed such chaos. What exactly did they say to push him over the edge? Get ready, because this is pure gold.
Trump cooks up this plan to force him to sign a deal that will turn over access to their valuable minerals to the United States in exchange for our support. But this shakedown, this meeting got off to a weird start before it even started.
Pretty close. How are you? Pretty sure.
He's all dressed up today.
Okay, this is when I knew we were headed for trouble. This was not going to be a good meeting. Everyone knows Donald Trump prefers his leaders shirtless and on a horse.
We are parentless. We are babysat by the television. We're taught how to think by the television. That's the dangerous thing about what's going on right now. There are generations growing up right now who are learning to lie. That lying is okay. That this
kids say fake news.
That you're supposed to hate half the country.
Right.
And if anything, we've got to get back to a place where we realize.
Before we dive in, smash that like button and subscribe. You won't want to miss this one. When it comes to dissecting the Trump-Melania saga, Jimmy Kimmel and Jim Carrey wield their comedic scalpel with precision, exposing the underbelly of a marriage that often feels as authentic as a $3 bill. The Trump-Melania dynamic has always been a mix of awkward hand swats, stiff photo ops, and the occasional look from Melania that screams, "Help me, I've made a terrible mistake." And Kimmel, well, he's here to point out exactly what we're all thinking.
As is tradition, except for 4 years ago when Trump refused to do it, the outgoing first couple welcomed the incoming president and first lady, which was interesting to watch. Trump actually got involved in Melania's outfit for this ceremony. A lot of people are talking about it. He told her he thought it would be super hot if she dressed like a goth Al Capone. And so she did. We found Carmen Sandiego.
Kimmel, the maestro of late-night lampooning, recently took aim at Trump's financial mess, with the former president claiming he couldn't pony up a $464 million bond after his fraud conviction. Kimmel quipped that Melania might end up with half of the nothing he owns now. The punchline: if you think she hates him now, wait until he's poor. It's a zinger that paints a vivid picture of Melania calculating her exit strategy faster than you can say.
Like this before. Trump needs cash, and we never heard of most of the crazy stuff you do before, but nobody ever heard of the president changing the weather with a Sharpie before either. Something tells me over the weekend Trump's going to start talking about how strong Vladimir Putin is, and suddenly a dump truck full of rubles will pull up and cover this for him. But, of course, the real loser here is Melania. She may end up with half of the nothing he owns now. I hope she got an advance on that prenup, because if you think she hates him now, wait until he's poor. That's gonna...
Melania's entire vibe around Trump is like having a phone battery at 1%, desperately trying to make it last. She constantly looks like she's buffering when he speaks, as if trying to load a response, but the Wi-Fi connection is just too weak. Kimmel has called this out with precision, often highlighting those viral moments when Melania dodged Trump's attempts to hold her hand. Who knew public rejection would become a recurring theme at the White House? And yet there she was, treating Trump's hand like it was covered in expired ketchup.
Melania, I was checking to see whether she was blinking Morse code for hostage during this video. She does not look pleased to be back involved. Looks almost like she's dying of misery. Take a look at this short clip outside Trump's big fundraiser.
Just wanting change. The rich people want it, poor people want it, everybody wants change. Our country is really doing poorly. We're a laughing stock all over the world, and we're going to get that change very quickly.
Then there's the book deal. Melania, the woman who spent years mastering the art of saying absolutely nothing, suddenly has something to say. Kimmel joked that the proceeds from her book would go to her favorite charity, a fund for hiring body doubles to endure marital obligations. Because let's face it, if anyone looked like they outsourced their marriage duties, it's Melania. There have been more body double conspiracy theories about her than there were exit strategies in Trump's.
The other big Trump book, Melania's memoir, came out today. It's called Melania. It's named after her. Proceeds from sales of the book are going to one of Melania's favorite charities, Body Doubles for Conjugal Visits. Very good book. Right now, the book is ranked number 17 on Amazon, and despite the fact that it just came out, even has reviews. Here's one of the reviews. J Love gives it 5 stars, says, "Wonderful. This was the best book I've ever read."
Kimmel couldn't resist when Trump went on a bizarre anti-paper straw rant. While most people just drink their drinks and move on, Trump turned it into a political issue. Kimmel pointed out that while Trump despises paper straws, he sure loves plastic, specifically in the form of wives. The man has collected marriages like limited edition trading cards, and with each new upgrade, his hair gets bigger, his facial expressions more frozen, and his tolerance levels
Handy. Listen, the fact of the matter is Trump loves plastic. Most of his wives are made of plastic. We're going to have a lot of plastic.
And let's not forget the time Kimmel caught a bizarre moment with Melania and gave a Newsom after a wildfire briefing in California. Melania greeted the governor with an enthusiasm rarely seen in her interactions with Trump. The internet noticed, Kimmel noticed, and suddenly, an innocent greeting became one of the funniest subplots in the never-ending Trump saga. Maybe it was the contrast. One moment she looks like she's trying to escape a hostage situation, and the next, she's flashing a rare smile at a governor who, at the very least, can string together a coherent sentence. The thing about Trump and Melania's marriage is that it plays out like a reality show no one auditioned for. He's the loud, brash guy who constantly embarrasses himself, and she's the wife who looks like she's mentally packing her bags at every public appearance. Kimmel doesn't even have to exaggerate. He just holds up a mirror and lets the absurdity speak for itself. And somehow it's still funnier than anything Trump has ever said on purpose.
There I am with Donald Dork.
Yeah.
And then there's the wifey, she's down to pound.
Okay.
Just when it seemed like Jimmy Kimmel had landed the final blow, Jim Carrey swoops in and delivers a knockout punch that stops the world in its tracks. Carrey's transformation from rubber-faced comedian to political satirist is like watching a clown trade in his red nose for a sledgehammer. The man who once talked out of his rear in *Ace Ventura*, now uses his art to roast Donald Trump, and oh how the tables have turned. Imagine waking up to find that the guy who made you laugh with "Alrighty Then" is now sketching the 45th president as a deranged jack-o'-lantern. Carrey's cartoons aren't just *funny, they're *snap brutal. Each stroke of his pen slices through the orange beside, exposing the chaos beneath. It's like he's taken all the elasticity of his face and channeled it into his drawings, stretching the truth just enough to snap back into a stinging reality.
Show. And I really liked that show, The Duck Factory, that was like
Really,
your first show, right?
It was incredible, that show.
But I used to love to draw cartoons, and I thought,
Me too.
You played a cartoonist.
This whole thing has brought back my 8-year-old self. It's been a gift from God. It's like literally like brought me back to 8 years old, where I used to sit in my room. Trump is.
In one cartoon, Carrey depicts Trump as the Wicked Witch of the West Wing, melting away under the harsh light of truth. The satire is so scorching, you almost expect the Secret Service to rush in with buckets of water. Carrey doesn't just roast Trump, he flambé him, serving up a dish so hot it makes political pundits reach for the milk. But Carrey's not just doodling for laughs. He sees his art as a call to action, a way to jolt the public out of complacency. He once mused that if his cartoons can make people uncomfortable, then he's doing his job. Mission accomplished, Jim. Viewing his work is like biting into a chili pepper disguised as a cherry, unexpectedly intense, and leaving you questioning your life choices.
Now, let's go to Jim Carrey.
Oh,
now,
boy.
what is it with the funny man, or at least formerly
funny man,
pet detectives political cartoons? And he's like, is he sitting in a room by himself just scratching away at
He released these strange images, first of Sarah Huckabee Sanders. We'll put it on the screen.
Yeah.
It looks like it was written in drawn in an insane asylum or something. And he wrote nasty things here. He says, this is a portrait of a so-called Christian whose only purpose is to lie for the wicked, monstrous. Well, he got attacked for that, naturally. It's bigoted, it's anti-Christian.
Doesn't look like her at all.
Then he released an image of Donald Trump this week.
Oh,
as the Wicked Witch of the West Wing.
Oh, that's not even funny.
Something is wrong with the man.
Kerry's portrayal of Trump as a melanoma spreading across the face of democracy is less a caricature and more a diagnosis. He doesn't sugarcoat, he salt rubs the wound, highlighting the malignancy he sees in the administration's actions. It's the kind of visual commentary that makes you laugh, that immediately check for irregular moles. Kerry's disdain isn't limited to just the Oval Office occupant. His pen also targets enablers and sycophants, sketching them as hollow-eyed zombies mindlessly following their leader off the cliff. It's *The Walking Dead, Capitol Hill edition *, and Kerry is the show's most savage critic. Some might say his art lacks subtlety, but subtlety is a luxury in times of crisis. His work acts like a defibrillator to the nation's conscience, each jolt demanding attention. He's the canary in the coal mine, except this canary wields a Sharpie and isn't afraid.
Look what Jim Carrey says. This is sick. This came out this morning. Innocent people are now being slaughtered, families ruined, and children's lives destroyed, all in his name. If the craven Republican Senate allows this vile miscreant to continue encouraging divisiveness, the Trump presidency will become an extinction-level event. And here he draws Trump with a swastika, like a giant asteroid coming from space about to hit the...
Critics argue that Kerry's foray into political art is a desperate bid for relevance, but that's like saying Picasso only painted during wars for the publicity. Kerry has found a new canvas in the political landscape, and he's painting it red, white, and *, you can't be serious *. His depiction of Trump as a killer clown isn't just a nod to his own cinematic past. It's a chilling reminder of the circus he believes the administration has become. It's as if Pennywise decided to run for office, and Kerry is here to point out that the emperor has no clothes, but plenty of grease paint. Kerry's art isn't confined to the digital realm. It's been displayed in galleries, prompting both applause and outrage. Walking through such an exhibit is like navigating a minefield of *. Did he just * moments? Each piece dares you to confront the uncomfortable truths he presents, unapologetically and with sharp wit.
With Modern Times, he criticized capitalism without a conscience. And that's what we have now. We have capitalism without a conscience. He showed the common man being fed through gears of the brutal, dehumanizing industrial age. He took on the American right wing of his day, its worst evils: hatred of immigrants, contempt for the truth, greed, and the abuse of power. We are fighting those same evils today.